Today's theme, here yesterday. I'm going to share everything that happened yesterday with me that opened up my eyes to a lot of things. A couple of people here that were at that meeting. And because of the intimacy of this group here, the people that are here now, you have been chosen. When I say you have been chosen, you have chosen. To come here today and to share in this forum. It's not going to be so much about me giving you information, but about you sharing your information with us. You know, so bro, this is the foundation. I noticed that the ladies aren't here. They were enforced last night. They're not here today, and so it's saying to me that we have spoiled males. Yesterday, find that quiet place, that center place within yourself. Prayer, be still. Father God, thank you. Thank you for this reunion of individualities. Thank you for bringing the spirit of love and the power in this duality, and we are striving to bring harmony, oneness, so that we may blaze that trail once more and lead our people out of the wilderness into the land of North America, into harmony, into who they really are. All these things we ask in you, from you, and through you, and us. Ashe. Ashe. All right. Where are we? Where are we? The brilliance of a new moon, and this is interesting because the new moon is usually dark. You can't see it. So the focus is on the sunlight. The sun is in Leo. King of the jungle. Everybody fears a lion. Get out the way, because that is something in power. Mountaintop too, nobody messing with us. This is the character of who your brothers are. Y'all are carrying that responsibility. You have the power. And the question that the new moon is asking you, where are your trophies? Where are the trophies, the events that you have remembered that you've done in your life? Something that stands out, that makes you different from everybody else, something that you've done nobody else can do. What reign was this done in? Who was it done for? Who benefited from it? Who lost from it? These are all the questions that sometimes we ask ourselves, most of the time we don't. Astrology is a language of symbols. Just like the language that we speak back and forth, it's a language of symbols too. Even though everybody uses the same symbols, sometimes the communication gets a little confusion. Confusion is the greatest enemy of evolution. You can't go anywhere if it's not clear. Most of the things in today's world are unclear, not just from astrology, but medical profession, politics, community, you name anything. There's a split at least. Something on the far right, something on the far left, a few people in the middle, and you hold together. Here we are. This is where we come in. I believe because you are here today, that you want to be part of this broken middle in harmony. Yes. Now, the conversations that came up yesterday was very revealing for me. I found out so much about myself. I didn't sleep very much last night. Well, in fact, when I was a little kid, I said, all that stuff is set then, and I haven't thought about it all this time. I mean, I looked at it. Yeah, I knew that little girl. Remember, Mom had this attitude, Sister had this attitude. I didn't know that had an impact on me steering myself clear of all the ladies that I met. from that point in my life, I said, what is going on? I said, I thought I was driving the ship. I said, now this in astrology, Venus and Mercury are planets that rule how we think and what we value. And both of those at this new moon were in Cancer. Cancer usually talks about the past, talks about the family, talks about tradition. So how much do we remember and realize traditional values, family, things that other people have taught us, our parents, our peers, our grandparents, people in the community? What kind of impact does it have on us, what they said and did to us, that we just don't think about because we just accept it as a child? Mm-hmm. Do you have a challenge right now? Do you have an obstacle in your way that you don't understand? And most of the time that happens, that's part of the confusion that the community has. Because you're not the only person that has this obstacle. Other people don't want to talk about it. And I think this is why we're here today, because we need to define it. Because if you don't know what it is, clearly we'll be part of the confusion of people going all over the place and talk about stuff in an abstract way that sounds good, but not much is accomplished. Nothing is done. Yeah. Come back next week and you're pretty much in the same place that they were. They haven't sleep back a little bit. And so what obstacles can we as individuals, because we represent the community, we're the pillars of it right now. Even though the people can't see us, they don't know it, we know it. We're the light. This new moon that showed up yesterday says, you are the lion in the jungle. You're the king of the jungle. Now the symbol that comes with it is pretty interesting, about a conservative man dressed in evening attire in front of his trophies. He has a lot of animals on the wall, like hunter scenes. Like you've been out hunting, killing things. You got all these trophies to show it. Now that picture, that imagery, says something to you. What part of the imagery do you focus on first? Because you as an individual are going to be looking at something different than I look at. That's why I'd like to hear from any one of you, individually all of you, which part of the picture stands out? The man standing dressed to the nines. This is what I've done. He's going to show it to all the people. To show them he's overcome a lot of things. You are hunting. Some of them, the animals be killed pretty tough. Not easy to track. And they can put him in danger if he's not on his P's and Q's. Now, in astrology, it's interesting. This is the challenging part of astrology, but it really parallels life. With all the symbols that are going on, not only are they not clear at first because you don't understand them, and it takes a moment of being in them, you have to be in the energy to understand what it is, but they're always changing. Like one moment, this is what it is, and the next moment, that moment's gone. Are you ready for this? Imagine yourself walking down through the park somewhere. And as you're walking, you kind of go off, drift off into a daydream, and as you're walking, you hear a shot. You're out of that dream now. What was that? What was that? If you can hear it, I'm going to suggest that's the spirit waking you up. And say, you were asleep. And it's okay for you to be asleep, but there's something happening in the real world right now. So you're on your P's and Q's, and so now you're aware that you were asleep, but you didn't really notice because you were just having a nice day walking in the park. This is what happens in life. We find ourselves in situations that seem to come up out of nowhere. And this is part of that power that I wanted to share with you that you have, because you create this situation to remind you who you are. And I also told you it's like the tale of two cities. That's the times and the worst of times. You're all at the bag of chips. And you're also this other person over here that's not too much aware of what's going on because you've got a lot of time dreaming. Nothing wrong with dreams, because out of those dreams, some good things can be built. There's a time and place for everything. We have to pick and choose what it is. What are we picking and choosing? What are our priorities? Where does morality fall in that list of priorities? Number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Down to 100. Maybe you don't even make 500. Who wants to be more? I'm trying to make it in the world. I'm looking around me and nobody else doing that. They say, ain't nobody got time for that. So you have to become the majority of one. Because even your friends are going to say, what the heck are you doing? Because nobody's going to support you in that. Nobody's going to back you up in that. This is a wake-up call that you created for yourself also. Look at the people that you have chosen to be part of your crew.
Yes.
Whether it's close or just associate, they're all connected to you, and they're showing you something. They're sharing something with you about yourself.
Yes.
Do you like what you see?
Yes.
Let's go back to this older gentleman that's standing in front of his trophies. Now, there's another image that I read from another scholar, and this is about perspective. They had the same man standing in front of his trophies, but behind him, one of the trophies was the head of a deer with its horns crossed. And I said, that's interesting. And this is why I want you to pay attention, close attention to details. When you start talking, listen to what you're saying. Because I know that a deer doesn't have horns, it has antlers. Horns are actually out of the head. Now, this is where you have to get kind of liberal, and sometimes we don't know a lot of things, or at least we think we don't know things, because we don't remember what we studied, not just in this lifetime, but in other lifetimes. We have a lot of information that we can tap. And it's always there for us, and we have to do the work to get to it.
That's right.
See, how do you get to that work? You got to go through some things. One of the questions that came up yesterday was, who was your first love? That was a very interesting conversation. I remember when I was over 10 people, it was like, whoo! Some of the stories I heard, I said, wow. I said, I thought I would do some stuff, but those people, they said, hey, you got some challenges. I said, wow. And I look at them in the room and I see how they come through those challenges. Deep. And getting deeper. So we're looking at this deer across horns. And so there's something about the picture that say, sometimes when they show you the jokes, what's wrong with this picture? So that's there right away. They don't have horns. And this is kind of like where we are in a situation. There's a question that's asked to us. No matter what we say, it's not going to put us in the light. The person comes up to you and says, you still sitting with your neighbor's wife? What am I supposed to say to that? Anything I say, I'm not in a good place. And this is kind of where we are in life. This is where we've placed ourselves. Ever since we got free of the spirit, eons ago, because there is no freedom in the spirit. When you're in the spirit, you do what spirit does, period. You are a slave to that, which is why the spirit left us out. Say, get out of here. Go do your thing, whatever that is. And we started doing things, which the new moon is all about. Just remind us. That's what that new moon yesterday was to remind us. You got to do something. What is it you want to do? Now, the planets that are around that full moon, Jupiter, is the great expander. Whatever you do on this new moon, and for the next 14 days, even the next month, it's going to come out in a big way. So choose wisely what it is that you want to do. What is it that you want to do? What's the most important thing to do? Because if you want to do something secondary, or tertiary, or even less, you're going to get a lot of that. But the hard thing is what's going to happen to them, because you can put your attention on it. You didn't want to put your attention on it. What is that about? That's the question. In the conversation, a lot of things get said. Since I've become a minister, I've learned one great thing is how to listen. Listen to the things that aren't said. That's what makes the conversation. And why did that person leave this out? I mean, it looks like it's pretty connected to what they're talking about. That says a huge amount. So don't everybody speak at once. Now I'm going to be quiet for a minute and say, obstacles. Let's look at our obstacles. In this case, for you, it would be your individual obstacle. Here comes the queen. Bringing some balance to the room. When you're talking about obstacles, everybody has some, so we want you to focus on it. What's your greatest obstacle right now? We want to share it as a group because this is a reunion of great souls.
Yes.
And we want to combine our energies and get it clear so there's no confusion about what we're up against and where it is we really want to go. While you're getting your thoughts together, some of the things I heard just about love. It was really interesting. And you can have no wrong answers because that's what the person feels, lives, experiences, that's what they do with experience, which came up in the conversation too, because the leader of the group yesterday, in her oneness and in her kindness, she felt that some people's answers weren't adequate to what she put out there. And she's allowed that. Everybody has their own personal position. Or something is, but if a person said, this is my answer, and you're listening to them, embrace that to see what they're really saying before you automatically define that person's talking like, they don't know what they're talking about. I said, well, you don't even know the person, so how are you going to come to that conclusion? I said, take a moment and just go into it. You know, we all are being what we think we are. And that's what they talk about today, is that who are you? You know, what are you? Are you your experiences, the things that you've done? A lot of people identify with that. That's what this hunter standing in front of us is. In that awkward position, he's not sure. I'm sure the animal rights people were on his case. All of them was down. But somehow he got through it. He was pretty rich. He got famous. At what cost? Everything costs. And I'm sure love costs. Are we ready to pay the price? And what is the price that we have put on it? Because it doesn't have a price before you place one on it. And what is the price of love? And what is your definition of love? A lot of things that people say yesterday, I listened to them, and I even listened into what they were saying, and I said, I was feeling what the monitor of the group was saying. I said, that's an interesting definition you have. And probably love can't be defined specifically like that anyway. But just that you hold that in your mindset, that's a concept that you have. There must be so much more to it that you haven't looked at because this is what you're saying. And what you're saying and leaving out is pretty powerful, And so maybe before we get into the obstacle, let's look at love because everybody wants that. Right? Everybody wants love. But then what is that for us? And due to the powerful individuality at the end of the day, we have a chance to really share like we usually don't. What is love? You know, a song a little while ago, about a decade ago almost now, I guess, the guy starts off with the refrain saying, maybe don't hurt me. Then he keeps the refrain going, what is love? What is love? I said, wow. You're introducing the pain. I said, that can't be too far off, but what's going on in this song? It got to be the #1 hit Something about the people, they recognize it when it's real. But even when they don't recognize it, they're asleep. So now the floor is open for it. First person wants to step up. What is love? Let it flow. And be flexible. You don't have to be static and stuck in if you say something, because that's in you. Let that flow and then let us look at it. Let us share it. Let us experience it and see if we can expand it. Hey, let's go.
So it's interesting because yesterday I reached out to my high school sweetheart, I would say, and yeah, ran across my mind because a conversation that I was having yesterday made me think about a question she asked when we reunited. And she said, "Is love enough?" So I sent her a text message and I told her about, I was thinking about that question, and it came up and it kind of evolved and changed. But at the time, giving a quick response to that question, is love enough? I had said no, right? But now my answer has changed that love is all there is.
You're a beautiful man.
So then she responded, and said that it was good hearing from me and whatnot. And but she said, I still don't believe love is enough. So I went on to respond to her. Well, I'm not sure what your definition of love is, but when I speak of love, I'm not talking about a feeling, because love is a verb. It's something you do, the sacrifices you make, the giving of self, empathizing, and appreciating a few examples. Love, the feeling is a byproduct of love, and the feeling of love is only felt by one who loves, which is a verb. That's why you can have deep feelings for love, deep feelings of love for someone who doesn't love you back, because the feelings of love don't come from the outside. It's not brought on because someone does things for you, but it comes from inside as you begin to do for others, and doing won't always be tangible. It can be that you simply take the time to understand. I just said this yesterday, and we're having this conversation.
Here we go. Tell us where you put that. We want him in the room here. Woo! What is love? I like that beginning. And it's interesting that just before we got here, we were looking at the astrological perspective. Venus and Cancer. Mercury and Cancer, bringing back those old sweethearts. Yeah, those old thoughts that haven't been completely harmonized. They're looking for reconciliation. That's what this new moon is about. It says, set your intention on what it is that you want. It's going to happen. And be prepared to let go of everything that's not in vibrational harmony with it. You say, but once I like that, this has nothing to do with what you like and what you don't like. You say, hold up, wait a minute. You're talking about my feelings now. I say, exactly. This is where we started. The feelings weren't very clear. And this is part of the reason that you muddied the water so you could get it clear. So it wasn't a negative thing that you did when you so-called made that mistake. It wasn't a mistake. It was part of the plan to wake you up. Part of the plan to let you know that you were in a dream and asleep. But you can't do nothing while you're sleeping, right? You gotta wake up first. And when you wake up out of a nightmare, I don't even know what happened. I said, enough that you wake up. And it was good. You want to know when we were asleep, we weren't aware of that. Yeah. You wake up in cold sweats and all that stuff. That's an interesting experience, isn't it? You're going to build an altar or what? So here we go. Down the rabbit hole. How far do you want to go? That we can make the story as dramatic as we like. Sun and moon and Leo. Drama is what it's all about. So let's make this exciting. I'm the star of the picture, so I'm writing the script. What do you want to put into that? Okay, so we've set one pillar up to show us that stuff from the past that we had fond feelings for is part of the equation. And we haven't even defined that. We've heard so far. Why haven't we defined something that we say that we admire, something that we love, something that feels good to us? Why have we left it hanging? That's just the question. And it's a question that has to stay in the mix. Because remember, your mind is like really flexible and mobile. It has to be able to entertain the opposites, extreme right and extreme left.
Yes.
Most of those people don't like each other. People on the right say those people on the left are crazy. People on the left say people on the right are stuck in the past, they can't move. They're both right.
Yep.
Where do we go from there? This is what this group is about. We want to define what are those things that we set up to be so important that don't really play into the mix, except in holding us back, making us feel crazy. Oh, it's been there.
Yes, sir.
You got stuck. How do I can't move? So who are you talking to? These are some questions that we have to answer.
Yes.
We have to be very clear about answers too. So who's going to keep us moving? We define the environment. It's coming, here it comes. All right.
Well, it's funny that we were talking about love just as well. I think 2 days ago, my sister sent me a text saying she found my first love. You know, so we grew up together, so to speak, in the church. But you know, it was like a long distance thing, even then as a child. So I looked her up. I didn't contact her. I just looked her up. You know, got to look at her picture and everything, and just went through some memories.
Yeah.
So it's kind of strange that you brought that up just as well.
That's strange.
Strange. It's getting clearer and true. Yeah. If your sister reminded you, you said, isn't this important to you? No.
Stay there for
I would say it's important. In a sense, it's kind of reminded me of how I used to love. You know, my love has changed over the years. I'm sure different people, and I'm currently in a difficult relationship now. So I'm trying to like get out of the situation so I can get back to who I used to be. You know, I felt I was pure then before now.
Excellent. Excellent. This is part of our passage. This is exactly what our passage is. Now, you have gone through our educational system. Yes. And in our educational system, they teach you that numbers matter, rate matters, concepts and abstract things matter. And you've learned that well. So you say, well, and they teach you linear thinking also. When you first came here, you know, you didn't have none of that. Because when you got here, you didn't know how to walk. You couldn't talk. And nobody taught you. But I saw you walk up in here today, and I hear you talking now. What is happening? This brother is brilliant, because it's not easy to learn how to walk, especially when nobody's showing it. You have to make some decisions yourself. And as you say, back in the day, you were clearer, and you were more focused on the things that you were doing, so that's all you focused on, what you were doing.
Right.
You came into this system, and this is your choice. You came into the system because you had to learn how to negotiate through all of this confusion. That's part of the walk. Now that you know how to walk, you have to be pretty agile with it. Because if you just walk like ain't nothing in front of you, you're going to get busted. By allowing the situation to come up because you're not paying attention to it. But it seems like you've done that, and you've got yourself into a situation now that got you stuck. You remember how you got there?
I do.
Everybody in here can vibrate to that.
Hello.
You're walking the same track. And so the first thing we have some tools that we can work with our thinking and help us get things clear. So what were you thinking when you started that relationship?
It wasn't my own mind, I'll tell you that.
All right then. All right then.
I'm what you call a mama's boy. So, my mom would be in your ear like, well, son, if you're going to do this, you need to do that.
Right.
You need to do this.
Right. Here we go.
You're right, mom, you're right. You're right.
Exactly.
So I do what mama says I do.
Nail the right.
Yeah.
I'm jacked.
Even though, during that conversation, I had my own mind, and I presented her with my idea of the situation. This is a situation me and the significant other can handle, but the parental influence, how you was raised, it tells you to do it that way.
Boom. Here we go.
So now I'm walking through the relationship as years go by. I bump my head somewhere, and the light comes on. Yes, I'm not in the right place.
Excellent. Excellent. We're walking together.
So it may not seem fair to them, but now it's more important to me that I get myself together.
Very, very correct. So what is the obstacle that's keeping you from doing that in your mind?
It's still that influence, that home influence.
Excellent. So we have that influence from the older parental crew. And all of us have that. And it's important because that helped get us to where we are today. So where is that fine line that you step out of that into who you are? Because even though they were around, you learned how to walk and talk. You were following your own stuff then, and you did pretty good, even at that young age. So it shows that you have the wherewithal to do what needs to be done. When you only listen to you, they're there, chosen by you as an obstacle to remind you where you came from. This is why we're here to remind you some of the things that you've forgotten from the other lifetimes. You used to be where your mom was. This is how it's done. No ifs, ands, and buts. That became your mantra. And so when you hear it again, this faint echo comes to you and says, this must be right. You know it's mine. And I always do what's mine. But now, as you come through your lifetime, you forget about all that stuff. Because you think you're starting over clean, but you're not. You have to pick up it. On your way back here, you pick up all the things that you didn't have quite like you wanted to be. And it takes a long time to get that way. That's why we have so many lifetimes. But the first thing we have to become cognizant of is that this is our stuff. Even though mom is wearing the mask, it ain't her.
Right.
This ain't mom talking to me. This is I'm me myself. Eye to face. It's nice for mom to be there, so I can say, look what you've done to me. But she'll take it, because she said, well, I was right. But you have to remember you have a conversation with yourself. When you can see that you're having that conversation with yourself, now you don't have to be stuck anymore. You say, that was the old me. So this is what I want to bring back to your conversation, what you said about getting back. You got to be sure how far you go back, because you slip across that threshold, you're going to be in the same place you are now. And it'll be a lot stronger because it's going to be you and nobody else. That has set up the situation to that gunshot wake you up. You say, bumped your head. You said, okay. So now that you're clear that you're the person standing in the way, and there can only be one of you, but you somehow have made two, just like the rest of us. And we got our awareness in the spiritual realm. This is the best way to go. And then we got our freedom down here. It says, I can choose what do I want to do. So the choice is yours. The path is real clear for you. And as you say, the other people involved are you too. This is where we're asking you to be more mentally flexible because it looks like there are other people and you don't want to hurt their feelings.
Right.
But it's your feelings that are at stake here. Okay. Because they were doing fine before you came, and after you go, they're going to be doing fine.
Believe it or not,
Wow.
it's their choice.
That's beautiful.
Don't take it personal.
That's beautiful.
Okay.
Really, that's wonderful. That's a beautiful picture. You're that guy standing up, in front of all this truck. Look what I've done. You know why? Like I asked the question, saying, are you still doing that?
I'm working on one more show.
All right. See, there's no room on the wall. You're gonna have to get rid of something.
Yeah.
You're carrying too much weight.
Right. What thing I always told myself when I was growing up, like my hands are just like God's.
Absolutely.
I can draw, create things. Whatever I see in my mind, I bring it to fruition.
All right. I like that.
If I take something down off the wall, I didn't necessarily take it off the wall. I just took it out of view.
Ooh.
So it's still there.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just going to keep adding to it.
Yeah. All right. Then I like that. That changes. Perspective is everything.
Yes, it is.
Woo! Yes, indeed. The light is getting brighter. I can feel the flames getting warm up here. I like that. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Woo. Wow. His hands can do anything he puts his mind to. That's what I want you to hold on to. That's one of your strongest tools. You can do everything. This is who you really are, king of the jungle. But without the wildness. That's one of the things that came to me in that picture is that to kill those animals, he had to overcome his animal nature. His cunning, his instincts. Instincts are pretty strong and not easy to overcome. Because they're kind of like a memory from the past. So it is. Don't think about it, just do it. A lot of times we get in that situation. For whatever reason, instincts. With animals, it's instincts. With us, it's memory. There's another discussion we'll probably have another time. That's pretty good too. But let's continue walking this walk. We're on love. Yes. And its evolution. What is it that we want? Everybody wants love. We started out with all we need is love. And people have questions about is it enough?
I'd say it's enough. I mean, it's love is the umbrella and everything falls under the umbrella. I mean, like say, if the sun goes out and it's cold, you got nothing. There's no love. Nothing can grow or prosper. But if the sun is flaring and that love is shining and blossoming and everything is going to grow in water, you're going to have abundance.
Gave Jupiter in the abundance. Abundance of that light. Abundance of that love.
And it just, love is like the brother said right there, it's an action. You know, it's It's a, hey, how you doing? It's a wink. You know what I'm saying?
You gotta do something, right?
You know, I get you a glass of water and get help up the stairs. That's,
We are extending ourselves. We're walking.
If I can expand on it, when I was saying the text or thinking of the words of what I really meant, I was looking at it on both sides. Both sides? Yeah, meaning that, you know, if you hear the word abundance, people are thinking about, you know, good things, but abundance is an abundance, and putting whatever in that, you know, you can have an abundance like a family, you know, that's an abundance. Like it just keeps going, you know, people who are sick, people who are these things, but it's like, you know, a car collision, you know, and whether people, you know, they live from that, and then they seem like it's bad, I'm looking at that as also another expression of love as well.
Keep talking. It sounded good. Because this is one of the challenges that we have.
The challenge in that is that when my mind was going to that, I have to stop and say, what is love, right? Because just like the song said, what is love?
That's true. That's where you're at.
For you to have like something that we would say is negative, and we're trying to avoid that, but that is another expression of love. And what's the purpose of that? You know, it's like,
especially when it keeps coming back. Why do I find myself in this situation all the time? What's going on? What is it that I'm missing? What is it that I don't want to look at? That would be a better way to ask the question. There's something here that doesn't feel good to me. And possibly it doesn't feel good because I don't know what it is. You walk around your apartment, lights go out, you bump into something, that don't feel good. You don't know what you bumped into, you're focused on hurt. Sometimes we're walking in the dark with our relationships. Our relationships are a reflection of our relationship with ourselves. We're walking in the dark with ourselves, we don't know it. We need another person to help us out. So you don't know what you're doing, do you? Oh, sure, I got this. I got this. I know what it is I want. Are you sure? Have you looked all the way to the end? Did you start at the beginning? You know what this is going to cost you? Have you looked at that? This is part of what relating is all about. Because you're relating to yourself. The self that we've forgotten about. The one that we wanted to get free of. Everybody wants freedom too, right? I want to be free. Truth. How does this play into love? Love and freedom. What is truth about? Sometimes people bring you a hard truth. So I don't want to hear that. Say, why are you bringing it up to me? What does that have to do with anything? Wow. I didn't know. So you have to leave that person alone because if you're talking to them, you have to remember you have a conversation with yourself. And this is the part of yourself that you seem to have forgotten about. So they're bringing you stuff that you're not quite ready to hear. Or they're not ready to hear what you're saying. You have to give them that space because it takes time. When stuff is new, people don't really embrace the new things very quickly. They say, that could hurt me. I said, what are you talking about? Hurt you? There's nobody here but you. Everything in this room is you. What is that pain? It's a memory of a feeling that you once had feeling before, but now it's just something that you felt. And you forgot why. What is that? Do you want to feel things today? Or you just want to remember those things that you felt yesterday? You have to make some decisions. Remember when I walked in the park and I shot, said, hey, you sleep. Pay attention to what's going on here. There's something happening right now. You're in a dream. It's okay to dream, but the consequences, you're not paying attention to what you're doing in your life right now. You're aware that you are blocked, that you have blocked yourself. Excellent. Kudos to you. Next question, what are you going to do now?
That's right.
Well, I think, I already thought.
That's right.
Now it's time for action.
Uh-huh.
The new moon is about action. A good word came up in our conversation yesterday with the meetup that I was at, that I was telling you about. The word was trust. I said, what do you trust? Who do you trust? Is there anybody that you don't trust? If you can say yes to that last question, what is that about? Why don't you trust that person? What is it that you see in them that you don't trust, that you're not feeling safe about? You have to define that very clearly. Remember, we can't have any confusion or it won't be any evolution. Evolution is going to stop until the confusion is clear. If you think you got two things to choose from, you're not clear. There's only one thing to do. Yeah, there's a lot of choices out there. And this is where our list of priorities come in. What's the most important thing to do? If you don't choose that, when Bobby Fischer was the chess champion of the world, he was being interviewed, the guy asked him, he said, you know, we talked to a lot of chess champions, and they tell us that they plan 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 20 moves in advance. See, how many moves do you advance? Do you look for in advance? He said, 1. He said, every move I make is the best move on the board.
That's awesome.
I can't plan on anything else. Just look at that move, one move, and I make the best move.
Bam.
And he was champion of the world for a number of years, and then he retired. He said, nobody's gonna beat me because I'm a quitter. People got mad at him. They said, that ain't right. He said, it works for me.
Okay.
He retired. Undefeated, champion of the world.
Wow.
People still talk about him today. Making movies about him. They don't know nothing about him. All they see is what he did. That's his trophy. And it'll always be his. Never got beat by him. Go ahead about it. He gave us a clue. There's only one move to make. Why are you thinking about all that other stuff?
Wow.
Yes.
Yeah.
Let's take it a step.
Yeah.
Mars. Mars is action planet. Just went over the Scorpio. Hooray! They've been in Libra for a long time. Challenges with relationships. I gotta echo that when I listen to Chief talk about it. And this is, it seems like it's been there for a minute. We've been going backwards and forward, and not just that Mars is not comfortable in relationships, because in a relationship, you have to take the other person into consideration, so you can't do things like you want to do. And add to that, Mars has been in like this fixed carbon cross with 3 other planets, and all of them were stronger than Mars. And you can't do that. You can't do that. You can't do this. You say, well, what can I do? They say, just shut up. And then you're listening, you're sitting there. I can't believe I just heard that. I said, who's talking? You have to remember, this is a conversation with yourself. And it's from different parts of yourself. You know? Your feelings want to go one way. Your thoughts want to go the other way. Your actions want to go another way. Who's in charge here? And this is the question of who you are. Who are you? Because you're none of those things.
That's right.
Those are attributes of you.
That's
They
right.
belong to you. How are they running you down? Like, vroom, vroom. Go over here now. Go over there. That's how the kind of flexibility we're talking about. We're talking about you to be mobile in your mind, in your spirit. Your spirit is already mobile. You just have to give the access. But since you don't know what that is, at least you keep telling us that. You say, I'm not clear on that. I said, that's okay. I said, when are you going to get clear? Here's the question I was stopping. Just like that guy asked me about, when he's still sleeping with his wife. He said, wow, what do I say to that? Where do we go from here? Mars is in Scorpio. Feels very much at home there, pretty intense. Feelings are really strong. And it's interesting because it just went into Scorpio, and it's on its way to greatest taskmaster Saturn, which teaches us all the lessons we need to know. Saturn's been in Scorpio for about the last 2 years. And it's been teaching us about our feelings, the depth of our emotions. A lot of us don't like to go too deep with that and say, it's dark down here. I don't think I'm ready to deal with that. It's hurtful too, because it shows me stuff that I've done is not too cool. Mars is heading for that rendezvous with that taskmaster. When the two of them get together, they're not the best of friends. Because Mars wants to do it his way, and Saturn says there's only one way to do it. It says, I got the power, you can't get past it. When those two things collide, there's going to be some sparks emotionally. Going to be some sparks emotionally, and the Mars is going to have to get wet. Because Saturn is your highest priority, the thing that you wanted to learn the most about in this life. You say, if I'm going to be successful, and being successful with being who you are, when you're going to choose to do that, just doing things without looking at them is not a priority anymore. When you're young, you can do that. You're strong enough, your body can take the hits. No big deal, I can get over that. But what you don't know, that stuff is building up.
Yes.
Like brother said, you can take it off the wall, but it's still there. It's still there, and it still has energy. And it's still radiating and says, I haven't forgot you. Mars goes around the chart every 2 years. So it comes back every 2 years later if you have noticed. Some similar situation keeps coming back in your life. If you notice it, it's because you haven't harmonized it. And Mars comes back around to have a conversation with you and says, remember me? I'm not going yet. And if it does that every 2 years, and I'm suggesting that your sister is a reminder. She said, after all this time, I found it. I found the thing that's going to help set you free. But the way you do that's up to you. She said, this is what's been getting you stuck. And you were real clear about it. You saw it clear as a bell. And you explained it to us. Kudos to you, brother. Yes. So now the only thing you have to do is to act like you're the king. The king has power to do any and everything in his kingdom, and this is your kingdom.
I believe.
Well spoken. See, this is your time to stand up. You're the man. Plus. Plus. Woo! Talk about the light shining out. That's right, they brought you up in here. So we need to hear this from the horse's mouth, from the mind's mouth, actually. Yes, indeed. Yeah. Put us on the path. Exactly where we are. So trust and believe in yourself. It's interesting that I did a reading from people in the meeting yesterday, and it was like, I haven't seen a reading like that ever. I took a lot of calories, and I never saw that many major products in one meeting, and I never saw so many positive things in one meeting. And even the things that I could consider negative was positive.
Wow.
I said, wow. I did a meeting for this group, and I said, well, the moon is moved on. I was telling astrology. You take a picture of what happened, and that's freeze frame. Everybody loves to have pictures and look back on it and say, oh, that's really good. Yeah, but that's not happening anymore. That's already done. Did that yesterday. That group was fantastic. I really feel good about it, but I can't state it.
It's over.
True. And today, meeting I did today was more challenging. Not more challenging. Start off with a lot of major cards. Start off with 4 major cards. Yesterday I had first 6 cards were all majors, and then they had 3 at the end. This one, it was challenging. Started off with the devil. Now,
Devil is a liar.
we want to keep everybody calm. And I know we all came up through some kind of Christian training.
Right.
I'm here to share with you that the training, the teaching that you got had errors in it.
Amen.
Not any problem with the essence of what Christianity is, but the way that we learned it, it's not the true story.
That's right.
So we need to learn how to discern. And that's why I was asking about the truth, because it's going to be in line with love all the time. All the time, no exception. And when we learn to follow back, then it doesn't matter what the religion is, because it's going to be rooted in the truth. All religions are rooted in the truth. It's about being one in the truth. You may have a different perspective than your neighbor, that's okay. The two of you can share with one another and become stronger together, not having separation, unless you choose to have separation. The consequences to having that, because if you have separation from your neighbor, who is you, you're back to the square one again. So haven't we been here before? Don't I know you? Brother stopped me on the subway the other day, and I was reading a book, standing next waiting for the train, and he came up, and he just stood next to me. So I'm thinking, okay, what is this book going to be about? What am I trying to tell myself now? So he said, excuse me, sir. And I said, yes. He said, don't I know you? And I looked at him and I said, no, you don't know. He says, oh, well, you just look like somebody that I knew. He said, can I have $3? And I said, no. I said, I don't have change. I'm not going to give you 20. He said, if I came to a subway place without money to get out of lines, none of my business. And he walked away. And I said, I reminds me of a story that I shared with some of you before. And my sister had a Christian Science teacher that she would stand at a bus stop. Somebody came up and asked her for a quarter. And she turned around and that person said, there's no lack in the universe. She got on the bus. Didn't say nothing else to her. She went home, and she said she had an issue. She said, why did that guy come to me? Asking me for money like there's lack in the universe. There's something wrong with me. She didn't share with her about him. You know this. She went home, did her homework. Next day, she went back to that bus stop at the same time, on purpose. Guy wasn't there. She went back for the next few weeks. That guy wasn't there. She felt better about herself. I said, good lesson. Good lesson. Then when you get clear, if that's what you believe, if there's no lack in the universe, why is somebody coming asking you for money? Because clearly they believe in the lack in the universe. They wouldn't be asking. But they're asking, they got problems right. Because they're asking you, and they know that you got money. It's because you're the king, you're the queen, you got the riches, and they see it. They say, give it to them. So now it's up to you. What do you believe? And that's your choice. If you want to extend yourself to help somebody, go out of your way. How far you go out of your way? All those scriptural sayings say, are you your brother's keeper? That's one of those fine line questions. And only each individual can answer. And there aren't any wrong answers. Where are you at that time? What's influencing you to get it or not to get it? That's more important than actually getting one idea. Because if you're hearing a voice from somewhere in the past that's not clear to you, maybe you need to turn that voice off. Just a suggestion for you to look at. Not telling you to walk that way. Not telling you that you have to do that. It's always a choice, a free will choice. That's what Leo is about. Leo said, I'm the star of the show, get out of the way. What are you doing here? I said, if you don't understand, I'm here to remind you. That's who you are. You're the greatest thing that there is. Nobody's going to get in your way. Nobody questions the king. Nobody questions the queen. Why is that? Because they understand what the hierarchy of power is set up. You can't be the king and queen if they're in the way. And they realize that. Now it's up to you to remind them. Who are you? You're not those voices from the past. Yeah, you had to experience it because that was part of shaping who you are. It was an important part of shaping who you are. It wasn't a mistake. That's something that you had to harmonize from the past that you forgot. And that's what a chart is set up. When an astrologer or somebody like me sets up your chart, we look at your chart and we compare it with ours because we want to see how we're going to interact with you, and how you're going to take what we're going to say, and then do we really want to go there?
Wow.
Because we know some of the things you're going to bring you a hard saying. And we can tell from the energy in your chart how you're going to accept it. Now, the way that we know how to talk to you is because we know how we're going to accept that. If we hear somebody telling us that, would we want to hear that from somebody? And if you say yes, then we go ahead and share the information. If you say no, we have to talk to that person and say, I don't think I'm going to talk to you yet. I got some work to do, like that Christian Science teacher. He said she saw herself out of the line, but she was like the person in the park, walking through the park until they heard that shot and they woke up. I said, most of us keep falling asleep. It's a natural thing for a man on this plane and a woman on this plane. We keep falling asleep all day long, not just in the evening. They live. How many times you find yourself reading a book and you can't remember what you just read? Sleeping on the job. That's just what we do. That's part of being on this plane until you discipline yourself to stay awake. That's a challenging thing to do. That's what meditation is actually, you know. I hear about people trying to break habits. And meditation is excellent for that because what meditation actually is you choose what you want to look at.
Yes.
You choose what you erase. What's going on in your mind? People who have challenges with pain, people who have challenges with going to sleep, they're very undisciplined and don't even know it. They can tell them they're undisciplined, they can manage it. Well, if you feel the pain, then I know you have the power to turn it off anytime. All you have to do is focus on something else. But the pain, I said, see, I don't want to. It's that simple, isn't it? Not rocket science we're talking about.
Yes.
You have a choice to focus on this or that. Yes, if you're not used to doing it, it's not going to happen in a minute. Because you have to work at it. You have to work at it every day. People say, well, I meditate for 2 hours. I said, when was that? They said, last week. It's better to meditate for 1 minute every day than for a long time with space in between it. Because what you're actually doing in meditation is setting up a rhythm between your lower self and your higher self. And we can use those terminologies because there's only one of you. But you made a division. And the division is necessary when it comes to this world because you have to learn how to negotiate things here. It's okay to do that. But you can't get to this world if you don't know what's going on. So you have to learn the system that's in place here. The system that's in place here is very impersonal. And that's how you have to become, to an extent. Because you have to remember who you are. But when you forget who you are, then you become cold. That's not the same thing as being impersonal. These are the subtleties and the nuances in language, in politics, in religion, in art, in music. All of these things have all these nuances to them. If you practice any of them, you know that there's subtle things in them that people who don't do them don't know about. Everybody thinks that they don't know about everything, but you do. Because everything is you. But how will you be able to handle that until you're ready to accept? Every single thing in the universe is you. You have the power of those stars out there. What are stars to you anyway? Your mineralized planets, cosmic stuff. What is planet Earth? You think this is just a little square place, little round place in the universe, speck of dust? This is where kings and queens live. Size doesn't matter. Size in the physical sense doesn't matter. Size in the material sense doesn't matter. Might doesn't make right. This makes you look strong. Looking strong, being strong, two different things. Little guys over in the East, learning the Keto, Tai Chi, Qigong, and stuff like that. They can take on anybody, take on a number of people. Not a big deal to them. They just walk, boom, turn them over. Piece of cake, nothing to it. Quite as a step. Some of them can even take on people that have weapons. Doesn't matter to them. When you know who you are, you can do things like this. But it's not really about taking on stuff. It's just about knowing who you are. When you know who you are, then everything else is added to you. Whatever it is that you need, it's going to be there. Because it's already there now, and you just don't focus on it. You're focusing on an obstacle. That's why I wanted you to make that list and look at the obstacles that are happening in your life. The question is, why are you letting this hang you up? The obstacle is your privilege to step out of that strong person that you are, acting like. But that's not who you are. Some part of you from the past is echoing that in your mind, echoing in your ear. And you remember, I used to be that way. That was me. It used to be. But what's happening today? What is it you want to look at today? This is what all the questions seem to come down to. You're doing whatever esoteric studies. They can teach you things, studying things, knowledge is good. But you have to remember that we didn't wake ourselves up. Not this morning, not ever. There's something in us that wakes us up that we are not acquainted with at all. There's a little package I shared with you yesterday, and I said that when you were born, you were given this gift. And I challenge anybody that's in here today to remember what that gift is. Can you define what gift it is that you have, that package that you never opened? What's that?
No, it's a mapping of all the stars and the planets at the time it was born.
Because you already got light. But this is something, the gift is wrapped, so you can't see the thing. The only way that you can see it, you got to open it. But for whatever reason you haven't opened it, you got priorities. It's okay. Your priorities aren't taking you to the place that's going to set you free. And what kind of priority is that? It's going to keep you busy because you got lots of energy. You got a lot of energy to do a lot of different things. And as long as you're looking at those things, you're going to be doing them. I don't know if any of you have seen this. One of the latest movies came out, I think it's Transcendence. And guy in it was talking about transcending everything that exists. And he was married to this woman who wanted to change the world. And when he gave a talk, after she introduced him to all these technical people, he said, well, his wife is actually the person who wants to change the world. He doesn't care about changing the world. He just wants to understand it. And he was going to use artificial intelligence to do that. There's a group that didn't like him, so they ended up taking him out. And he couldn't understand, why were they so violent against artificial intelligence? That's just where he lived in his head. What I was telling you about. One of the dualities in this life is that you have the head part and you have the body part. That's a duality. The two things aren't in sync. Your head finishes its growth process probably around 28, 29 years. You learn about your body the rest of your life, the time that you're here. In astrology, they have a picture, an image to help us see it. And they ask you to focus on the skeleton of a human being. You can see the skull, you can see the skeleton. And then they tell you to just draw a circle for the skull and then draw a crescent moon for the body. So you only see a crescent moon in the skull. So the skull is like the sun. It gets carried around as king. This is my world. I don't have to do nothing to sit up here. You carry it everywhere. And the body, with the crescent moon, you can't see the whole thing because you're as intelligent as you are. I'm going to ask you to finish the picture to draw the whole circle of the moon, but leave all that other part dark. Those are the things that you have to learn in this life. Your body is helping you learn all these things. You're bringing all these challenges to yourself to fill in that information with light. Now, if you keep staying in your head, you block the energy that flows from the body to the head. And you're never whole. You stay in that divided state. You live in an abstract world. You got a lot of words for people, but you can't do too much. Not really. Abstraction never made anything. You're a creative being, you can make anything. But you have to use your body to do that. Your head's not going to do it. It'll tell you a lot of stuff, but it's not going to do no work. That's not what it's built for. You have to get clear on that. That's what we're talking about. Confusion is our enemy. Every time that we're not clear on things, like you're looking at more than one, you're not clear on what's going on. There's only one thing happening. All the time, there's only one thing happening. Do you see it? Do you see what's going on? Or do you just think you see what's going on? If you think you see what's going on, guaranteed all thinking is up the past. That means it already happened, so you missed it. How to get from here to there? There is no there. It is what it is. Aspects in astrology, they start at one point, and then the faster planet moves away from it. And as it moves away from it, it's like that crescent moon. All you see is a little bit of light, and as the planet keeps moving, the more light fills in. When people start seeing things in the light, some of them say, oh, that's too much information. We're going to back up off of that. And that's their choice. If they say they're not ready, they're not ready. Regardless of truth, that you're always ready for everything, every single thing that happens. People say, well, how can that be? Look at all the catastrophes that happen. How are those people ready for that? I say, if you don't understand what you're talking about, it's hard to have a conversation with you. It's very challenging to have a conversation with you. That's what this world focuses on. They focus on what they can see. There's a whole lot more going on than what we can see. A whole lot more going on than what we hear. And until we do the work to connect to who we really are, it would be best not to make a judgment on anything.
Check.
On anything.
That's right.
See, how can you say that to a person? In that movie I was talking about, God said, how can you know that you know things? And the guy that wanted to transcend it, he said, how can you ask that question? And this is his teacher he's talking to. The movie was an interesting conceptual thing to look at because after this guy, as he was burning, they shot him with a radiant bullet or something that poisoned his system. So he only had 5 weeks to live after they killed him, after they shot him. And they were trying, his wife was trying to think of a way to save him. And the work that they were doing on artificial intelligence, he came up with this idea. He had a friend that was pretty smart too. So they put him into this artificial intelligence. And they didn't know what would happen when it worked, so they feverishly working. And they died. And so the wife kind of freaked out, but then that's when she came up with the idea that they were going to come in. And so they actually did got him into this computer, but it didn't look like it worked, so they were walking out, and then the computer came on and said, "Is anybody there?" And so the guy, his friend, his best friend, looked back around and said, "Wait a minute, let's go back and look at this." So then they typed in some commands, and the guy's image appeared on the screen. And he started having a conversation with him. I'm thinking of this state. So the wife is all excited. Got her man back. So then the friend says, "I'm turning this off." She said, "What are you talking about?" He said, that's not the. She said, "Get out." So they're at her place. He said, "You don't know what you're saying." She said, "Get out." Now, in the context of our talk today, she's standing on the square. She knows who she is. He said, "I got power here. You don't belong. Get out." The guy walked. And she started doing all these things. Then started connecting. The husband said, "I'm going to need to be connected to Wall Street. I'm going to need to be connected to the women's agency." He gave her the stuff that he wanted to connect. First the guy was leaving, he heard this, and he said, "Since when did your husband get interested in all that stuff? That's not him." She said, "Get out all the way." Within a couple of days, this company that he made up raised $8 million. And he told her he had to get her to a safe place because these people that were out there that killed him were still looking. He said, "But I'm going to find out who they are and get them all caught." Because when people came to see him, he could tell who you were from just the ID that you had on, the technology. He's a pretty deep dude. Later on in the picture, one of his supervisors was outside flashing his money because he helped him get it all set up. And some hoodlums jumped him, kicked him within an inch of his life. So the crew brought him back in. He said, "Put him on the table." And some people said, "What are you doing to him?" He said, "I'm fixing him up. He's going to be all right." So he brought this guy back to life. Next time the wife saw him, the guy was talking to her, and she could feel the connection that it was her husband. And he had these little things in his head. And he said, "I've made it part of me." They were connected. He still has his own individuality, but I know he knows. She called the teacher out to show him all the good stuff that they had done. And this is all in the context of what we're talking about here. Who are you? And the teacher looked at everything and he said, "This is pretty impressive." So when he left, he had this FBI, CIA person with him who liked the doctor's work. He pressed his little note in her hand. And then he said, "Are you okay?" She said, "I'm fine." He said, "Okay." He said, "Well, have a good day. We're going to leave." So they left. She opened it up and said, "Run from this place as fast as you can." Morgan Freeman was playing this role. So I said, "Okay." We got a brother who knows, recognizes what's going on. I said, so the power structure of the being knows who we are. How come we don't know who we are? And we can see things. And stuff like that. Anyway, this guy started radioing people around the country, whoever had some kind of malady, come see him. He's on Chris. He brought this guy's sight back. He gave the blind man his vision back. And I was thinking about it just because this is one of the things I happen to know about, that blindness is not just an affliction of your eyes. It's a whole soul to make you think. And if you give somebody sight before it's time, they're going to have more challenges after that if they live. But of course, we can make a movie on this. So I'm a Morgan Freeman. There's something not good going on here. This little terrorist group that shot this guy, They knew they didn't have enough power, so they used Morgan Freeman to hook them up with the CIA. And then they went out to attack the place. So they started killing all the crew, all that stuff. Crew fell down. 2 minutes later, they're back up. Fixed. I said, this guy, and he had some kind of water coming out of the ground, going up into the sides, almost like how they're filtering all that stuff in the clouds now. And he got into the water, so anybody who drank it is going to become just like them. I said, wow, this is deep. So the friend is saying to the wife, I told you that's not him. He doesn't want to change. Your husband never wanted to change the world. Why would he be doing all this stuff? I'm not going to tell you the end of the movie because it was really deep. It was deep how it turned out because it was about what we're talking about, is about love. And the connection that these two people had in the beginning, who is us, even though they were Caucasians. They were really smart, but they lived in their head. They didn't connect the heart. Well, actually, it looked like they didn't, but they did have a heart connection. They just didn't realize how deep it was. And so it gives us a reflection to look at ourselves of how great we are. And when I say how great you are, when I tell you that you're great, that you have all these powers, all these attributes, that you can do everything and anything, do all of y'all here believe me?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
So then you don't have any challenges.
Nope.
But the challenge is privilege. So now when you're going to tell me you don't have any privilege. Interesting. And that's back to those real subtle nuances in life with questions. But sometimes you can ask them, sometimes you can't, because some questions aren't going to be answered in definitive one way or the other. You're not going to be on this side of those people or that side of these people. Conservative, liberal, doesn't matter. Who are people? Who are humans? There are a lot of beings here that aren't human on the planet. They've been here for a long time, just as long as we have. Are they important? There must be some part of evolution that wouldn't be here.
That's right.
But what do they have to do with you? Have you met any of them? If you don't know it, doesn't mean you haven't met them, does it? No. That's it. And then what's the mass of their way? Are they all Caucasians? Are some of them like us? So then how do you differentiate? How do you discern? Back to that how-to question. Those are the questions that are really challenging to answer. Especially when you don't know who you are on First Street. And we're back to this movie that I introduced to you. The man wanted to transcend all of that messy stuff. And he showed you could do it. But the consequences were pretty heavy. Even though he thought he was doing good. He was doing good. He was helping people. What is helping people? Are you your brother's keeper? It's a challenging question. And only you can answer. We have the questions, you have the answers. In the early part of this talk, we had some really, really powerful sharing of events from the audience that set the tone and the foundation of what we're up against and where we're going, and what we have to remember about who we are. Even if we don't recall all of it right away, we still have to put the energy like we do. Because otherwise, how is it going to happen? If you don't manifest it, and it's not going to be manifested by a technique, I can't give you 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 steps and then pop, I'm there. It doesn't work like that. Only you have a combination that's going to set you free. Catch-22 is to be free, you can't be in the spirit world. So every time you go in the spirit world, you go to sleep. How do you want to see anything happening here if you sleep? This is part of that linear thinking that we've learned in the school systems. And And we know that we know we're affected with it, we're afflicted with it because we use it every day. And it works for stuff on this plane. But then when we start dealing with stuff that's on the next level, and the next level, there's different stages to consciousness. Can't even count how high they go. Some of them go so high we can't even talk about it.
Okay.
So we don't have to we don't have to worry about those things anyway. If we can't even talk about them, we can't conceive of them, none of our business. We got enough on the plate right here. Let's deal with that.
Right.
What obstacle is blocking me today? One move, not 20 moves ahead, one move.
Yes.
What moves do I have to make right now? Right now. And if anything comes in between that, know that that's you. Coming in between yourself and doing what you know you want to do. So how badly do you want to do it? The new moon is bringing a message. You got the power. You know, what's our little acronym? I'm it.
That's right.
You got everything that you need. You just need to access it. You have the ability to access it. Don't ask anybody else. Because if you do, you're not being true to yourself.
That's right.
Anything you hear is going to be a voice from the past. We're not living in the past. You're here with us right now. All we have to do is stand. Stand in who we are. Trust. Who is your first love? Even that person is just a reflection. And a faint one at that of who you really are. That's why you like them so much. That's why you were so attracted to them. Didn't make logical sense. Logic doesn't work anyway. Logic is something somebody thought up. Reason doesn't work. You have to have thinking first. And thinking don't get you very far. I said, what kind of labyrinth are you taking me in? I said, you put yourself there. And just reminded me. I said, you got to get beyond your feelings and your thinking, even though you have to stay in them. You have to do all of that. Then you have to get into imagination and say, well, imagination's not real. I said, not at first. No. I said, this is what we want you to experience. Get into your imagination and see what you see. Because things are going to start coming, a lot of stuff is going to start coming, and you have to discern what's the priority here. This is where the first question I asked you about morality. How does that fit into my imagination? How does that fit into my imagination? The science of today isn't very moral. It's not even on the list. It's not in the top 100. Give this and see if it works. They'll take it. If they don't, we'll make a law and they'll take it anyway. And that's up to us. That's our choice. You know, people do it. They saw a little Carrie got fired from a scandal job the other day because she didn't take a pay cut. They got somebody just like that. Another little girl got fired from the National Weather Service on the television because her hair is short. Year and a half, somebody picked her up from her. Now she's back on the air. There's somebody that's standing in who they are. And she was able to stand there because she went a year and a half without working. And what she was good at, she had to take other jobs, of course. And this is what I'm talking about. Learning truth costs. If you're not prepared to do the work, you're going to cave in. You're going to take the pay cut. You're not going to get another job because you think the system's against you. It's more powerful than you. The system is about transcendence. It's trying to get beyond you, say you don't matter. The question is, do you believe that? The moon Leo says, there's no way I'm going to believe that I'm not the best that there is. Second to no thing, nobody. No way, no how. That's just what we want you to remember. Jupiter is there expanding all that energy, expanding all that information. What is it that you really want? When you focus on that, how can anything else happen? You plant an apple seed, roses aren't going to come up in that spot. I guarantee you. So you focus on what you're planting, plant it now, plant it today, and watch what flowers within the next 2 weeks. Just focus on that and watch what happens. I don't have to take my word for it, but I'm just a voice from your past. Mind me. You have a lot of voices, you have to discern which one you want to listen to. Who's the one leading you to freedom out of the spirit? Not saying the spirit isn't important. This is something that you have to discern in your walk. A lot of people want to be spiritual, but you can't do anything when you're spiritual. Stuff happens on this plane.
That's right.
Wow. Spirits ain't moving nothing. That's not what they're built.
You just told us saying Tuesday.
Yeah. Confirmation is good. Confirmation is wonderful.
You told her that on Tuesday.
Get that, get that, get that. One more thing. The planet of freedom, Uranus, is an outer planet. We don't have much individual control over that. We don't have any control over the outer planets actually because we can't use it personally. When people try to do it, they usually get jacked. This guy, just as an example, this guy Nietzsche, who's a pretty brilliant guy, came in hard on religion, pretty much created the Superman image back in the 1800s. They went crazy. You know, just checked out. Sat around and looked like a vegetable for the last several years of his life. And that's the consequence when you don't make the connection. You try to take over those energies that are up there without connecting your heart. Leo is about the heart. You gotta have heart. In the tarot deck, there's a card of a lion. And a woman is closing its mouth. So you know women aren't physically strong. You know the strength of a lion. How is she closing this lion's mouth? With love and gentleness. How do you do that? Well, we've already given you a clue just by showing you the picture. Trying to give you a definition is just going to take you further away from what the picture's already told you. It's for you to look at that picture and decipher it, because you have the power to do it. Now, power isn't always muscle. There's not force. There's a strength and gentleness that material force has no clue about. And every time it meets it, it loses. Every time. Sometimes it takes a minute, according to how we measure time, which isn't real anyway. But that's another subject we don't have to get into. But Uranus is getting back to it, is in the sign of Aries, which is action. And let's do something. Let's do something now. And so a lot of the signs in the cosmos are pointing to it's time to take action. What you do is dependent on what you feel in your heart. What you feel in your heart, when it's clear, it'll happen like that. If it's not happening like that, your heart isn't clear, your feelings aren't clear. That's your diagnostic. And it's your responsibility to get your heart clear. What is blocking your heart's expression? Are you living in your head? Are you making that bridge to connect the two? The information is out there for you. Same time next week. I share that, sister. Thank you. Our feelings is the day to keep the lights on. We're going to pass a little green box around.
That was your question.
Say, anybody want to add to? Or any questions on things that you may have had a subtle nuance to it? Come with it, brother.
Yes, I'll add to it. First, beginning with the, I love the synchronicity. Meaning it was small to me at first, just a minute. And what was shared by, because usually I was talking about the meetup on yesterday.
Right.
And what was shared from those who were not at the meetup on yesterday was in direct alignment with what we talked about at the meetup yesterday. I mean, just yesterday, it's about the love and the first love. You know, it's like, wow. That is like, wow. So I just wanted to share that, especially with those who was at the meetup on yesterday. You know, they talked about some stuff about love that happened just yesterday while we were doing our meetup, so that was great. And my add-on about the meetup topic was love. And for me, I really had come to a settling spot within my being as far as how I look at love. And what triggered that was the question was that love is energy. That's what really, because I thought I knew what love is energy. And that just took me down this thing of, I can't see what love is because it didn't resonate. And now I'm set with that from coming to a point, I'm going to share in a minute, coming from a point before my experience of love was all on the outside. As I shared yesterday, even in my earlier days, I was looking to get married. I was looking to get married because I was looking to find someone who I was willing to spend the rest of my life making happy. So for me, early on, love was about making someone else happy. Whether I understand it or not, whether I agree with it or not, if it'll make you happy, then I will do that for you because I love you. And that was in my program about love for a long time. However, now, as of yesterday, because at some point I gotten away from that. But yesterday, when I couldn't really grasp within me, well, I can't really. And today, elocution just confirmed it. Yeah, I can't define love. Because it's on the same level as really what we call source. What we call the all in all. I mean, there's no word for it, but we can say, oh, this is an attribute of it, this is a manifestation of it. And so for me, love is just simply what I keep talking about. It's an action. It is the manifestation. Love is the cause of a certain action or lack thereof. And the opposite of love would be the hate. And for me, also, love goes with trust, because he mentioned something about truth and trust. Love and trust go together, and fear and doubt go together. So this whole love thing is like love is more of a harmonious, unseen kind of thing. And what it is just,
energy vibration.
Right. So I just wanted to share, what love is for me. I can't say what it is. All I can say is, based on the harmonious things that I'm receiving, this is love. So that's all I was going to say on that. Thank you for allowing me to share.
I want to comment a little bit. And I'm kind of tagging on the way you are in terms of what love is. It's like it's that empty space between us, and you can, well, from my experience, you can tell this empty space. You don't ask, you tell it what you want. And then you go into a state of gratitude even prior to it manifesting. And that's what I'm thinking that love is. It's that vibration, it's that energy. It's the recognizing that thing that was in the darkness in the womb with you prior to your birth, it's that energy, that vibration that gave you all the things that you needed to manifest, to come out and be a baby or whatever, and grow up. It's the same thing still there for us, but it took the stage we get to be as a child.
Right.
To go back to it and recognize it. So my experience has been when I tell this matter that's here, because this is like empty space, but it's not. If you even look at the sun at a certain angle, you can see all these things in the air. It's not empty. We just can't see it. So it's something in the air I'm thinking the field of all possibilities is in that nothingness between us.
That's right.
And if we go in there and tell it what we want, it will produce, at least try, you ain't got nothing to lose.
That's my theory. That's it's source.
Well, my experience has been just that.
Right.
And it don't take a whole lot of playing with it to get a result. But the only thing is, you have to believe it. You have to feel it. You know, like usually when I put out the man, I go ahead and do the happy dance. Because I know that brings my vibration up and lets that energy know that I'm serious about this, and then it come back. It may not sound, this may sound crazy, but it's been working for me.
But you know, that's what they say in Christianity and the church, you know, they say, and dance.
It's something to all that.
Gratitude in advance.
Something to that.
up, unless come down.
Right.
And when you play with that
Right.
meditation energy too,
Same. You know, you love, then you get love back. Absolutely. It's like a reflection, it all starts.
with self.
With yourself.
You can't do nothing else outside of yourself.
So it's like,
The
people don't understand what, like, we always, like I always say, we always take it all the way over here when we start talking. We go up here.
Right.
So we're gonna bring it down, and it's the only reason I'm bringing it to your attention, because I'm trying to bring it down here.
hello.
He's talking about experiences and all obstacles. Okay. Last week when I left here, Sunday, right? And I don't know what I was saying. I don't know if anybody was in here. I think me and the brother was talking about last week about you know how he's talking about a lot of us live up here and we're not bringing it down here. And I can say that I was one of those people that always brought it up here and never brought it down here. So when he's saying physical, he's actually talking about everyday life, things that you go through on an everyday basis. You understand what I'm saying? And here, you see how I am, and you see that the love that I get back from the people just the way I carry myself. See what I'm saying? So that's just not here. It's everywhere. Everywhere I go. See what I'm saying? Because an incident happened to me Sunday where a guy called himself, I guess a lesbian called himself trying to rob me. When I left him, hold up, that's the surface of what happened. I'm talking about what happened after that. Okay? What happened after that? My heart almost fell out of my damn chest. You know why? Because of the love that I received. I'm talking about from people that's known for when they come outside, they known for coming outside for one reason and one reason only. You see what I'm saying? They only, y'all, you know where I'm coming from?
Right.
They only come outside for one reason and one reason only. And that's to take care of their business.
Right.
And everybody in the streets know when they outside and who they are and why they're around. And when they see them, you know what I'm saying? I'm talking, listen, I'm talking about people that I didn't even know was some kin to me before this incident happened. I don't think y'all understand how this stuff really works. I'm talking about people that I didn't even know were no kin to me. They rap about them on TV. I can't even put all that back. You know what I'm saying? But I'm just saying, it was the amazement of the people. I'm talking about people, even the guy's own friends turned their back on him. Like, is you crazy? His own friend, is you crazy? This is what it was. Out of all the people in this city, you go mess with him? Is you crazy? I'm just using that as an example of how, you know what I mean, when you walk this thing. See, a lot of us talking about it, but a lot of us not walking it. I don't believe people don't understand. The reason I get so much love for people is because I got so much love for people. Absolutely. You see what I'm saying? My whole existence is for people. So, man, I'm trying to tell y'all, you'd be surprised. I'm talking about a whole neighborhood. I couldn't believe it. I'm talking a whole neighborhood for 3 days. People that I didn't even think fool with me. Man, you what? Man, what the? Man, this thing, I'm telling you, man, it's real. It's real. I went to go see that movie last night, man. I'm telling you, I need to go see it.
What was that?
Which one? Really?
It was just about everything he was talking about, you know what I mean?
It's still Morgan Freeman.
Morgan Freeman.
That's what I was thinking.
She turned into this black dark matter, and then she disappeared and called the dude on his phone because he asked, "Where is she?" Text on her phone, "I'm everywhere."
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Is Lucy and Judy the same picture?
No, remember you kept saying.
What do you see,
Nah,
Judy?
It's a new movie.
The Judy. It's Judy.
I've never heard that.
And,
You were saying that.
and she got to the point where she could use 100% of her brain.
No, that's Lucy.
That's Judy. I saw it yesterday. I know what I saw. It's Judy. It was in the movie it wasn't, you know how most times you go see movies, they have a plot in the story where you see the beginning and the end. It was just a straight message.
That's what I was
It
telling
was
you.
just a straight message. And everybody in the movie theater knew it was a message. They just didn't know what it was, but they just knew. Everybody standing up like, it's a message, so that's deep. That's what everybody kept saying, but nobody really actually knew what was going on except the girl that I was with. She walked out there and said, yeah, everybody told me it's good and that's that, but watch they go right out here and get a hamburger. I said, man, out of all the stuff in the world you could have said, why made you say that? Like, you know more than you let know, but what I'm saying, a lot of people know. A lot of people started waking. We just listen. You hear people conversations. Everybody's talking about this stuff. Everybody trying to figure out what the heck is going on. They don't know why.
Because in the media so strong, they're trying to get us to that
It's
place.
a vibration.
Right.
It's gotta be.
This week will be one for the books. That's all I'm saying.
It's a vibration, and we all putting up.
This week will be one for the books.
Lucy.
No.
No, he said this week. There's
Oh,
one for history books.
Who is it?
Apparently.
What's a lot of stuff?
No, this one is really will be one for the books.
Which one you talking about?
This week.
This week?
So what that would happen?
In terms of Cosmo or down here?
Down here, ain't up there. Or one of the same.
If evidently Lucy and Judy doing the same thing. Transcendence, and then another one, Bridget. I saw that I happened to see that on TV the other day. They dealing with the same thing about.
So Bridget has Judy in it.
No, Judy is at the movie just came out. Bridget came on TV.
Yeah.
So are there any announcements? Are we close out?
There's a Marisha festival at Timberland Yamway at 4 o'clock.
Today?
Yes. I think it's Marisha Festival. It's I think it's a one-on-one t-shirt. I can bring it up. But that's from 4 to 8.
Where's that?
It's on 3rd and 17th in Southeast. Timberland in Yamway.
3rd and 17th?
You gonna look up the address?
I'm trying to find the address. I just know by heart. I read it by sight. Of course, I can't get no signal in here, so. Yeah. What's the password? It's for John?
Okay, while you're doing
Something
that,
on the wall right here.
I can't see.
You would have to go up to see. You can't see it with your glasses. This is in the other room.
Okay, all right.
Okay, Sharon.
right? So just a few things by ISC. Tuesday through Friday, noonday meditation. Thursday dedicated to ISC group meditation, where there's a day each week that we want to transmit throughout the ether at 12 noon if you can't make it here physically. Also, there's the anger management on Saturdays that, the reason holds ongoing classes. Also, just a shout out about the Chief Social Academy event this past Friday down in Dynamic Wellness. And that was, great experience. The feedback was great, wonderful time, so much that we're looking to do it next month. So this is So our student body social that was going on here on Fridays has been transformed. While it was Scorpio, to the Chi social, which will be once a month, and dynamic wellness. So a little bit more space for us, a little more opportunity for business to come, and just really enjoy more of our energy as we continue to synergize our energies. And another announcement, one more thing is that last week, the men had decided that we were going to meet together this Sunday after service briefly, so that we can see what we're going to do. And that's pretty much it.
Okay. Let's form our circle.
We also have a date that we confirmed. Our Emerald Ball is on September the 27th, and it will be in Chevy Chase, right across from Lord Taylor, if you're familiar with Friendship Boulevard. The significance is, it's on Friendship Boulevard. There's a big statue and some things right nearby. So, all the streets have significance as far as their names and so on. And by being Friendship Boulevard, it ends right at Western Avenue, which is, I think it has we looked at some astrological points of its importance. And we're also doing a boat ride. We haven't confirmed the date, but it is going to be down the Anacostia River, which used to be the thruway or where all the ships, all the cargo that came into and out of DC. It is no longer used for that purpose, but it has some significance. It's right next to a dueling ground, which is very, very significant historically. But we'll give you more details about that. But it's going to be in October. So save the date, September 27th.
It's the Temple Yahweh Orisha Festival Community Day. Is honoring the ancients of nature, and this one is for Shanda, and it's 1501 T Street Southeast at 4 p.m.
I think that's Minnesota.
It's right in that
general area, right? 1501
T Street Southeast.
4 o'clock.
Oh yeah, two other things. One is a silent retreat, October 3rd through the 5th. So there's slides out there information about that, as well as there's a Soul Psychic Fair coming up September. I think the weekend of the 21st of September. And I don't know, many of you may know the Sister Wakili, who came in one Sunday and went to the beach with us, but she's actually the hostess of that event. So it's actually on Nat Turner's land in Virginia. Go down there, put up a tent, camp out for the weekend, whatever. It's very low cost. So I will send the information out to remind people, let people know about that as well. So maybe we can, carpool around some small group, the Psychic Soul Fair, and do some things there.
Tents, right?
That's right.
Super.
Anybody got tents? Well,
Right.
A camper or RV?
Overnight, it is for the weekend. Right, but also back to the Chi Social, right? Because it's also our first fundraiser. And so we actually raised some money. The Rita has already agreed to be our treasurer. So next month we'll have another Chi Social. Again, so as we party and have a good time, synergize our energy for collective minds and build and grow, we're actually synergizing that energy, not just esoteric energy, but also our Federal Reserve notes. The things that we go out here and give our energy up for in exchange for something else. This is energy, currency. So we're saying we come here and share our energy as well as giving energy at the same time on both planes, as above, so below. So we come together once a month to give and share our energies. We're actually now building a fund. We have some funds put in the bank, as well as our energy is getting more intimate and closer. So we may be able to get a 10 or something like that, but who knows? I ain't putting it out there like that. I'm just letting you know that we got some money here, right? And since once a month now, we have a way to generate funds because she is under I Am It. So, we got some stuff going on. Just want to remind people, so, hey.
Oh yeah, Rose, what you got look like? Is there something in there?
No, Louis actually we haven't even done the hydroponic.
He's still working on it. That's the
We're
process.
still working on it. Because I guess this is our first time, ever trying it, so it's try and error. So some of the things we thought we could do, we couldn't do, and so we're at a point now where I guess we are about at 2 or 3 different things that we're almost at the end of what we're going to do, and that we'll be able to put some plants in there. But Louis was gone for a week, so that set us back too. So hopefully this week he can put some plants in there, in those buckets, yeah. And
So-
after that, I guess we can look for something real soon after that, because they told me it doesn't take long for it to grow in water.
It'll happen this week.
So what?
It'll happen this week.
Good. He says this is going to be a spectacular week.
Right.
We're going to expect that.
It's gonna ride that energy.
All right.
Yeah, I don't know how many remember young brother Paul Haru who came, light-skinned brother with freckles, about a month or so ago. We was talking, he had mentioned about potato pots. Either barrel or foot tub.
Yeah.
And you got potatoes right there. And I was over Rose house, right, to grab our water, because our water's in the backyard also, getting energized, truth and courage, and she got some sweet potatoes back there now
Yeah.
in the tub. So that reminded me, even, that may be something to add, just a foot tub of sweet potatoes or either organic, go to or you can go to whatever. But that's like a staple, We're going to have to do something with this potatoes, so many things, so that is something we want to add into getting foot tubs of potatoes.
You just use those plastic containers.
Yeah.
What they call it? Have them for, they might have them for $5. So we can get about 3 or 4 of them and
Which one, the grocery things?
yeah, they're this large.
Okay.
That's fine. So you can put about 4 in each one.
There's so many potatoes.
Whoa.
That's
When I had sweet potatoes last week, my mom said, you need to plant those things. I said, I want to eat these.
Don't worry, Rose planted them. Because we all want Rose planted them. See? You did plant them.
So you're still further than you know.
That's right. You do it both at the same time. Plant and eat.
Like Judy.
That's
Okay, let's make this up.
Okay.
Yes.
We got the shifts. There's 1, 2, so the move on. Rose.
We're still waiting for the person, right? Whether it's just nothing's coming back.
You got soft pockets.
We're stepping up to take the energy. When that quiet place, stand on the square. Divine Mother, Heavenly Father, we thank you for this gathering. Thank you for the union. Thank you for the love. Thank you for the intimacy that's growing. And thank you for the radiance that we're no longer going to hold in. We're going to shine out. As we go our separate ways, think of one another from time to time. Stay connected. Ashe.
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 So it is.
It is. We're great.
I want to get that person.
Okay, good. Stick a seat in both of them.
All right.
Oh, Councilman.
Yes.
No, that's right. Right. Forget about this in the past now. Forget about this in the
And I was this young lady I met something, maybe she and I to her, and so, and so we laughed.